Good morning, children. Saira. Welcome to the revision session of History, Chapter 6, that is Towns, Traders, and Craftsperson. So, children, in yesterday's session, we discussed about this chapter. We started the revision of this chapter, right? We started off with understanding that during medieval period, the new towns developed in different parts of India. Then we also revised that these towns had different priorities. Some of them were administrative centers, some were religious centers, port towns, or commercial centers, so on and so forth, right? Many towns combined several functions, like they were administrative centers, temple towns, as well as centers of commercial activities and craft production. So now, in today's session, we are going to discuss further apart from what we discussed yesterday. So, yesterday we had already started with administrative centers, right? We discussed it, we revised about it in detail. Then we started with a network of small towns, right? We discussed about the big and small traders. We revised about the big and small traders. We also revised about the crafts in towns, right? So now we will be moving further. Prior to that, requesting all of you to keep your notepad and pen handy to write down the important points which you think so. Yeah. So let us begin now. Now we start with a closer look Hampi, Masulipattnam and Surat. Let us begin with Hampi first. Okay, let us revise about it first. We have already done it when I was explaining you about this chapter. A small recap or a refresher kind of a thing for all of you. Yeah. So now we all have learned that Hampi of the Vijayanagari Empire, okay, is located in the Krishna Tungabhadra basin. Yeah, it formed the nucleus of the Vijayanagara Empire, founded in 1336. The magnificent ruins at Hampi reveal a well fortified city. No mortar or cementing agent was used in the construction of these walls, and the technique followed was to wedge them together by interlocking. So, children, the architecture of Hampi was very distinctive. The buildings in the royal complexes had splendid arcs, domes, and pillared halls with niche for holding sculptures. They also had well planned orchards. Okay. Now, in this map, let us understand where Hampi lies. Yes, so I hope this you are able to see this just below Bejapur. Yeah, so this is where Hampi lies. Okay. Over here, just to make you understand better. So, as I said, they had well planned orchards and pleasure gardens with sculptural motifs such as the lotus and the corbels. This is the structure of the wall. Okay, it is a broken wall of the enclosure of Hampi, but then I want you all to just have a look at the interlocking system, children. See, right? Okay. So, as I said, in 15th or 16th centuries, Hampi bustled with commercial and cultural activities. Muslim merchants, chettis, and other European agent traders, okay, such as the Portuguese, thronged the markets of Hampi. The temples were the hub of cultural activities, and Devdasis, that is the temple dancers, okay, performed before the deity, royalty, and masses in the many pillared halls in the Virupaksha, that is a form of Shiva, okay. So basically the Virupaksha temple. So Virupaksha is considered as one of the form of Lord Shiva. The Mahanavami festival, even today, that we call as Navratri in South, was one of the most important festivals celebrated at Hampi. Now, obviously, you will be thinking that how do we know that Navratri was one of the most important festivals celebrated at Hampi? We know it because archaeologists have found out Mahanavami platforms, right? So, however, children, Hampi lost its importance after the defeat of Vijayanagara in 1565 by the Deccani Sultans, that is the rulers of Golconda, Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Berar and Bidar. Okay. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is a gateway to the west, that is Surat. A gateway to the west, that is Surat, is what we are going to revise now. But prior to that, children, as I said, please read the chapter nicely, read everything, parawise, form questions, okay. Very important topic and very interesting too. See, if you really read it properly, you will develop interest in history. History is indeed very interesting, and all these topics are really interesting. So, if you just follow what I said, prepare yourself nicely, yeah. So, now we move on to the next topic, that is a gateway to the west, that is Surat. Where is Surat, children? Yes, Surat is in Gujarat. So, Surat, which is in Gujarat, was the emporium of western trade during the Mughal period, along with the Cambay and Ahmedabad. Okay, Cambay. So, what do we call Cambay in the present day? We call it as Kambat. Fine. So, basically, children, Surat was the gateway for trade with West Asia via the Gulf of Hormuz. It has also been called the gate to the Mecca. Why? Because many pilgrim ships set sail from Surat. Children, we have already learned that Surat was a cosmopolitan and people of all castes and creeds lived here, right? In the 17th century, the Portuguese, Dutch and English had their factories and warehouses at Surat. The textiles of Surat were famous for their gold lace borders, that is zari, and it had a market in West Asia, Africa and Europe. Not only that, children, there were magnificent buildings and innumerable pleasure parks in Surat. The state also built numerous rest houses for the people who came here from all over the world. So, according to the English chronicler Ovington, who wrote an account of the port in 1689, on average 100 ships of different countries could be found anchored at the port at any given time. Children, we know that for any trade to happen, okay, money is an essential ingredient. It was the same case that in that period also, right? And therefore, the Kathiawadi heads or Mahajans, that is the money changers, okay, had a huge banking houses at Surat. It is noteworthy that Surat hundis were honored in the far off markets of Cairo in Egypt, Basra in Iraq, and Antwerp in Belgium. What is hundi, children? Hundi is a note recording a deposit made by a person. The amount deposited can be claimed in another place by presenting the record of deposit. So such was the case. Then why did the market decline? Surat began to decline towards the end of 17th century due to the loss of markets and productivity because of the decline of the Mughal Empire, control of the sea routes by the Portuguese, and competition from Bombay, where the East India Company shifted its headquarters in the year 1668. So, a fast recap on Surat. Surat was a hub of retail and wholesale shops selling cotton textiles. Surat's textile was known as zari, that is gold lace borders. It had a market in West Asia and Europe. So, as money was essentially an ingredient for a trade, the Kathiawadi Seths or Mahajans had huge banking houses at Surat. The Surat hundis were honored in the far off markets of Cairo, Basra, and Antwerp. Surat began to decline towards the end of the 17th century, reasons being loss of markets and productivity because of the decline of the Mughal Empire, control of the sea routes by Portuguese, competition from Bombay, that is present day Mumbai, where the East India Company shifted its headquarters in 1668. So children, with this I end this part of the revision lecture. See you in the next session. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.